By now, you're quite familiar with me using the term the DCM, the ECM, and the smart capital market. The markets that we often talk about is the DCM, the debt capital market, and the ECM, the equity capital market. Today, what I want to introduce you to is to the SCM, the smart capital market, or what is also known as the beginner's financial market. I want to assure you that the information that we're going to be looking at is relevant. It's absolutely necessary for you to understand it when you are attempting to leverage the smart capital market. The things that we will introduce you to may be common, but not so common. And what we will attempt to do is to unlock some of the mysteries surrounding the terminologies that you will be introduced to shortly. For those who might be joining me for the first time, my name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the multiple best-selling author for several books, including Manager's Toolkit and Billionaire Quote. These books are already bestsellers. My new book titled 10X, Branded and Marketed, The Psychology of Doing Business, will be out very soon. It's a unique book that really helps you to understand the ins and outs of branding and marketing and how you can build your brand to have a larger than life impact on the internal workforce, the specific target market, and the general public. And more so, it gives you a lot of tips and techniques as to how you can build your brand to achieve global relevance. Now, today I want us to talk about the smart capital market or the beginner's financial market. In previous broadcasts, I spoke about how to access the DCM, the debt capital market, and how to access the ECM, the equity capital market, and what are the pre-qualifications criteria. We also looked at some of the benefits when you access those markets. But do you know how to position yourself to begin to access the smart capital market or the beginner's capital market? Before I get started, I want to say a couple of things. If you master these arts and these techniques that you're about to be introduced to, it will give you that foundation to succeed when you go to the debt capital market and when you go to the equity capital market. In fact, if you master these techniques well enough, you may never have any chance, all right, or any need to access debt capital or equity capital because you would now know the smarter way to build up capital to leverage into your business development. Today, I'm only going to be brief. I'm going to introduce you to that program, and over the next few days, I will look at each one of the tenants to help you to get a better understanding as to the step-by-step approach that you need to take when you're attempting to position yourself to leverage smart capital market or the beginner's financial market. Now, when we talk about the smart capital market from the global capital perspective, there's three important concepts that must immediately come to mind. The first, we call it value proposition. But what exactly is the value proposition? Now, in most cases, when you hear of the value proposition, it is an abstract terminology. I want to show you that in this program, we will give you 7 steps to unlock the mystery surrounding the value proposition, and we'll give you a whole host of other techniques that will help you to build up your value proposition with the highest degree of clarity to achieve the highest degree of impact on the internal workforce, the specific target market, and the general public. Now, what value proposition has to do with accessing the smart capital market? tremendous relevance. Remember, you're going to the market, and for you to be able to access the market, meaning that for you to be able to inspire persons to invest in your ideas or to attract accredited support, you have to have a value proposition. And the value proposition must be designed to achieve several things. And I'm just going to give you two ideas here today. In looking at your value proposition, one of the first things that you want to look at is your brand intention value trade. What is the intention of the business that you're going to be getting into? What is the intention of the offer that you're making to the public? What is the intention? You need to be clear about this. Now, the brand intention must be designed to achieve two main things. One is to add value, and two is to fix problems. Let's say that again, add value and fix problems. Now, where are you adding value and where are you fixing problems? Those are important questions for you to ask yourself and to ensure that you're in a position of strength to answer these questions. Your value proposition, the offer that you're making to the public for them to build confidence, trust, and credibility with whatever you're offering, it has to be properly taught up. So over the next few days, we will get into step one, which is value proposition, and we will examine 7 important steps to build a killer value proposition to achieve large and life impact on the internal workforce, the specific target market, and the general public. You owe it to yourself to know these things when you're trying to access the smart capital market. Okay, why the internal workforce? Because to access this market is not me, myself, and I. It's better if you have a team, and we'll talk to all of that in the rollout of this program. Now, the second important concept for you to understand is something that we call target market analytics. Why target market analytics is important? Now, here is where you are trying to position your value proposition into the marketplace to gain support. But you didn't take the time out to understand the person or persons that you expect to support your value proposition. So it's absolutely necessary for you to take the time out to really understand your target market. And by this, we call it the target market analytics. Now, this is what a lot of people do, and we will explain this. As you set out to do target market analytics, a lot of young entrepreneurs, a lot of person who may not have the experience, they begin by doing what we call speculative analysis. And what speculative analysis means? It means that you sit in your comfort zone and you speculate into what are people's dreams and hopes and aspirations and needs and wants and expectations. Highly speculative. Being highly speculative can hijack your dreams. It can make you frustrated. It will defeat the entire purpose. So I want to encourage you to cancel out speculative analysis when you're trying to position your value proposition in the marketplace. The next important concept that we will look at in the second stage of this exercise is what we call secondary market intelligence. Now, secondary market intelligence, depending on how recent it is, can be good and can also be deceptive. You want to ensure that if you're going to be using secondary data, that the secondary data is accurate, dependable, reliable, and it will allow you to make informed and the right decisions. Going to the market to introduce your value proposition into the smart capital market or the beginner's capital market, having these information is important because failing to take the time to understand the needs, wants, and expectation, dreams, hopes, and aspirations of the specific target market, it means that you may be speaking a language that they do not understand. But taking the time to gain market intelligence, what it simply means is that when you say A, they say B. When you say C, they say D because they understand the language and they can relate to it. And only the right intelligence can get you here. So you don't want to get stuck on speculative analysis. You don't want to get stuck on secondary data if it's outdated. The last one that we will go deep into is what we call primary market intelligence. Now, primary market intelligence will come at a cost, but the costs justify the end results because at the end of the day, you will have accurate market intelligence that says this group of people, this is what they love, this is what they have an interest in. And you may be able to innovate a product or a service that is completely aligned to their needs and you can monetize that entire process. Now, it's the monetization of that process that really gives you that opportunity to be strategic in leveraging the smart capital market or the beginner's financial market. Here is where you align consumer needs, dreams, hopes, and aspirations to your ability to provide value above and beyond their expectation. Is how you match these two things and you identify the most strategic approach to monetize it. So we'll be going deep into this. We'll take it step by step and we will blow it up big. Now, this comes under the heading of the new program that we have introduced, the 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp. You want to know how to 10X your business. You want to know how to 10X your cash flow. These step-by-step approaches that we will be giving to you will literally transform your whole landscape of how you do success visualization. The last concept that we will introduce you to under this heading is what we call your team dynamics analytics. I did give you a hint. When you have big dreams and hopes and aspirations, you step away from me, myself, and I, and you start to ask yourself, how can I form the right team? How can you build the right team dynamics to achieve the objective fastest, more efficient, more cost effective, and to also have impact across the board? All right, so we go deep into what we call that team dynamics skill sets that you need. We looked at the importance of, having good communication skills, good leadership skill sets, good team building skill sets. We go deep into these things and really help you to understand how to apply these systems to get unstuck with your dreams, your hopes, and your aspiration. So the next time you think about your value proposition, remember there is a way to unlock the mysteries around the terminology that you may call value proposition. And what this program will do is really help you to really understand how to build out your value proposition with the highest degree of clarity to achieve the highest degree of impact on the specific target market. It is only by achieving the highest degree of impact you will be able to more effectively achieve the financial objectives that you're setting yourself to achieve. And this program will walk you through that entire process. So remember, this program falls under the broad heading of the 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp. And those who were following this program, you are quite familiar. that when we introduce the 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp, we say it stands on 2+1 pillars. The two main pillars is you understanding what we call the wealth love language. The wealth love language represents understanding the DCM, the debt capital market, understanding the ECM, the equity capital market, and understanding the SCM, the smart capital market or the beginner's financial market. In previous broadcasts, we look a lot at the debt capital market and the equity capital market. Today, we decided to take some time to really help you to understand how you prepare yourself to begin to access the smart capital market or the beginner's capital market. And one of the first things that we say that you need to have when you are attempting to position yourself to access the smart capital market and the beginner's capital market, what you should begin by looking at is your value proposition. Step one, your value proposition. Step two is to understand the market dynamics, target market dynamics. Step three is team dynamics analytics. You need to have all three of these things in place when you're trying to position yourself to access the smart capital market. If it's not clear why these things are important as we begin to get into these programs and dissect it, you will get a much clearer, better idea in terms of why these talking points are absolutely necessary when you're attempting to access the smart capital market. Now, what is the smart capital market? What are some of those portfolios? The smart capital market is all about bootstrapping. It's all about crowdfunding. It's all about sales funnel. And you need to understand how to effectively position yourself to access, to leverage, to master these three platforms and more when it comes to the smart capital market or the beginner's financial market. Just to add to this, the 10X Wealth Leadership Program, you will also learn about the leadership love language. So first you understand the wealth love language, and then you understand the leadership love language. What is the leadership love language? You will understand more about what the leadership love language is all about. You learn about what is the process of thinking ahead. You learn about wealth leadership and the process of thinking ahead. You learn about wealth leadership and the process of seeing beyond problems. You learn about wealth leadership and the process of informed action. The last tenet is for you to be able to put yourself in that position of strength to understand how to do your income analytics. Income analytics. So this is where we measure your income against your expenditure against your balance sheet against your future plans, and your future plans against smart investment strategies. At the end of the day, you will be able to leverage the smart capital market as smart investment portfolio. You will be able to leverage the debt capital market as smart investment portfolio, and you will be able to leverage the equity capital market as smart investment portfolio. So you can set the stage to start to build generational and intergenerational wealth. So I will bring the curtain down on this program today, but just allow me to tell you a little bit about the vision, the mission behind Global Capital Inc. Our mission is to position our clients, employees, and strategic partners to understand, create, and leverage passive income cash flow, build multiple streams of income, leverage smart investment strategies in order to build generational and intergenerational wealth. In our programs, you will learn about financial intelligence and the commercial financial sector, financial intelligence and the investment financial sector, financial intelligence and smart capital market, and financial intelligence and sustainable livelihood. It's important for you to recognize that financial intelligence goes beyond your ability to make money and maximize your disposable income. It addresses the issue of understanding the global financial system and leveraging this intelligence to create good debt cash flow, minimize your existing debt financial portfolio while you maximize your financial and equity capital gain. The understanding of the commercial financial sector, the investment financial sector, and smart capital market is an important body of knowledge for you to have in the global landscape of financial intelligence. My name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the multiple best-selling author for several books, including Billionaire Codes and Managers Toolkit. My new book, 10x Branding and Marketing, The Psychology of Doing Business, will be out very soon. Remember, this is a period of COVID-19, and I want to encourage you to be safe, protect yourself, protect your loved one, and those closest to you. Remember also to like, subscribe, and share this podcast so you can help us to reach more people moving forward. Be blessed and see you in the next broadcast.